October 1st marks the fifth Nikkei Angel Island Pilgrimage, an event launched in 2014 by the Nichi Foundation in partnership with the Angel Island Immigration Station Foundation, the Angel Island State Park, and the National Japanese American Historical Society. Over the years, the California Genealogical Society has become an important partner in this community-wide project, which has to date brought more than 1,700 people to the former immigration station from throughout the state, the West Coast, other states, and even Japan. Today we're honored to be joined by two people who have been an integral part of the founding of the Nikkei Angel Island Pilgrimage. We have Grant Din, who has worn many hats over the years, including with the Angel Island Immigration Station Foundation and now with the California Genealogical Society, and Linda Harms Okazaki, a past president of the California Genealogical Society. Welcome, Grant and Linda.
Thanks, Kenji.
When we launched this pilgrimage in 2014, we had brought more than 600 people to the island. As we reflect upon that historic day, what memories come to mind for each of you?
I think it was really exciting because before Nichi did this event, there hadn't been one event that would bring everyone together to learn about Japanese American presence on Angel Island, not only during the immigration process 1910 to 1940, but also during World War II, because it was a temporary detention center for the Department of Justice. And we've met descendants of some of these people at the first pilgrimage and since then too. It was really moving for the descendants to walk the spaces where their ancestors were, and also for people who were descended from immigrants who came to the island.
I think that the experience was really moving for the pilgrims. You know, genealogy is a journey, and they took their first steps into discovering their roots. But it was also really moving for the genealogists to watch these people discover, oh my gosh, my mother came to Angel Island on this day and she was pregnant, or my auntie came on this day and she stayed for 13 days. So it was moving on both sides of the equation.
Part of the impetus of this pilgrimage was that it seemed, at least to me, like the Japanese American legacy on the island was nearly forgotten. Even though it was some key members of the Japanese American community who helped to rediscover the immigration station in the early 1970s, and those of Japanese descent up to 85,000 people. Grant, you have played a key role in helping to bring out that particular thread of stories over the years. Can you tell us a little bit about the Japanese American experience on the island?
Judy Young and Erica Lee wrote a chapter on the Japanese immigration experience on the island in their book, Angel Island Immigrant Gateway to America. But I think a lot of Japanese Americans from the Bay Area don't necessarily know that history. We have found things like picture bride records for people like Norma Mineta and Fred Korematsu's mothers that are on file in the National Archives. So being able to find documents like that and show them to people, and there'll be photographs of not only the picture bride mother, but also the father who had to come to the island to verify that he had a job and that he would get married to his wife again instead of by proxy in Japan. Some people were questioned on board ship and they didn't have to go through the island. We're generally able to find documents for some of the people at the National Archives, but not all. I mean, the number you mentioned, about 85,000, is the number of people who came through San Francisco, but there are only about 8,500 records at the National Archives. There are also a number of other Japanese immigrant records as what are called A files, or alien files. When people became naturalized citizens, their files went somewhere else. So we're really hoping to be able to figure out the total number of Japanese immigrant records that are out there.
Now, Grant, you are work to curate one of the featured exhibits at Angel Island Immigration Station this year, taken from families. Could you tell us a little bit about that exhibit and what we can expect from that?
When I was at Angel Island Immigration Station Foundation as staff and then as a consultant, we've gotten grants from the Japanese American Confinement Sites program of the National Park Service. And we have records of at least names of the 700 people that are verified to have been arrested by the FBI and local police departments because there are surveillance of them and dossiers about them as potential suspicious, quote unquote, enemy aliens. Many of them were arrested and just taken from their families right after December 7th, after Pearl Harbor, and in the months that followed. We have 3 interviews of people who were children. One of them saw his father taken away. Another one came back from the movies and her dad was gone. and a third person was born in Tanforan. And so all of them talk about being in WRA, the War Relocation Authority incarceration camps, and having their fathers be at the Department of Justice camps and not seeing them for 2 or 3 or 4 years. And so some young animators created a very short video telling their story in animated form.
So another meaningful element of the pilgrimage is the family history consultations with volunteers from the California Genealogical Society. Help attendees start their journey into researching their family history and reclaiming some of that history that's long been forgotten or never really discovered. Linda, you have played such an enormous role in personally spearheading this deeply meaningful portion of the pilgrimage. Can you share with us some reflections about the family history consultations?
Let me just start out by saying it's been really powerful on both sides. And I've learned that every Japanese American story is different, and helping people to uncover those stories can be really healing. I mean, the entire immigration and incarceration experiences has been traumatic for a lot of families. And so uncovering those stories and sharing those stories turns out to be healing. It's also healing and educational for the genealogists to discover all these stories that have happened to people right here, really in our neighborhood. So there's been a number of really exciting discoveries that have been super powerful. Hiroshi Kashiwage's wife, who looked at her immigration records of her mother and literally started weeping. And then the genealogists started weeping. To this day, we still talk about that. The time that we brought my father-in-law in his wheelchair and pushed him through the island and showed him where his mother and his father had come through. Or the children, especially the multiracial children who came through during the pilgrimages, and they wanted to know about their Japanese grandmother and their Mexican grandmother or their African American grandmother. So it's been very powerful to pull together the multiracial aspect of immigration as well.
We have not been back to Angel Island since 2018. To those who have come before, why should they come again?
Taken from Their Families exhibit is up now. It's kind of like a premiere because we never had an opening because of COVID. There's also the brand new Angel Island Immigration Museum, where the state park and the Angel Island Immigration Station Foundation worked together to create a brand new, exciting exhibit. The whole public health hospital has been renovated and fixed up to a beautiful new site. And there are exhibits about contemporary immigration, as well as the 100 years, over 100 years since Angel Island. And so the whole museum is really nice. There'll also be a short-term exhibit on enemy aliens that the National Japanese American Historical Society and other groups have worked on, that is on display.
I think if you come for the first time, or if you come for the second, third, or fourth time, you're still going to get something out of it. So the first time, your eyes are open. What was that immigration experience like? And then having consultations with the genealogist helps you to uncover those initial records. But for those who come back for the second, third, and fourth time, you know more about the immigration experience. So you have more questions, and you can ask the genealogist deeper questions and dive deeper into other issues. So each time you come to the island, it's a new experience.
Well, thank you so much, Linda and Grant, for sharing some insight into the Nikkei Angel Island Pilgrimage. Again, the pilgrimage will be held on Saturday, October 1st. New this year, we have buses from Sacramento and San Jose's Japantown. And there will also be a panel associated with the Enemy Alien Files exhibit on the experiences of German Americans, Italian Americans, and Japanese Latin Americans. We will also feature performances by Brenda Wang Aoki, a nationally known storyteller, and show performer Mark Izu, both of First Voice, and we will feature PJ Hirabayashi and the Taiko Peace Ambassadors from San Jose. We will end with Bon Odori dancing to honor our Issei, or first generation, pioneer immigrants. We hope that you will be able to join us as we hold our 5th Nikkei Angel Island Pilgrimage. For more information, visit nichibay.org/angel-island-pilgrimage. Thank you for the Nichibay Cafe. This is Kenji Taguma, and back to our hosts.